Hey, this is Lynn with Midlife Carnivore. I am doing a video today to show you how I use my Renpho Smart Scale. And this video hopefully will help people who aren't necessarily viewers of my channel because of the carnivore diet or mast cell activation syndrome, which I have greatly improved, or morbid obesity, which I have tremendously improved upon. But if you're just out there looking to see how do I use this smart scale, what do I do with these metrics, how do I calculate my fat loss, maybe this video will be helpful for you. I use the Renpho Smart Scale, but there are plenty of others out there. I don't know what metrics other scales provide, but I know with the Renpho Smart Scale, it does not calculate the fat loss or fat gain. It just gives you other metrics. And so I calculate this myself. And I have had viewers ask me to share how I calculate the fat loss from week to week. And I do weekly weigh-in videos, and I've been doing these for close to almost a year now as I've been tracking my progress. And I've been showing my fat loss from week to week. So I thought it would be really helpful just to do a separate video and share how I do that calculation. Now, I did one before, but I combined it with one of my weekly weigh-in videos. And so it's kind of hard to find. It doesn't really stick out as something that's obviously just about the scale. So let's go ahead and dive in, and I'll show you what I do. All right, so this is the smart scale that I use. This is just the Amazon listing for this scale. And as you can see, it is extremely affordable. There's even a coupon that I checked here, 10% off. Now, I've had this scale for about 3 years or so, have only been using it really consistently for the past year since I went on the carnivore diet. But I have seen it go up to maybe $25, and I've seen it as low as like $17. So the price does fluctuate. There's sales, there's these coupons, but overall it's incredibly affordable. And I've had people ask me, like, is it even reliable? Now, I cannot claim that it's as accurate as a professional body composition scale might be, or a DEXA scan. But what I have noticed, and again, using this every week for close to a year now, I have seen extremely consistent trends. And to me, that's what's most important. Now, I do believe that the scale is very close to accurate, if not accurate, but I haven't tested it out. I haven't gotten a professional scan, so I don't know for sure, but I do know that the metrics are not bouncing all over the place from week to week. I have gotten extremely consistent trends with this scale, and that is very important. And so I feel pretty confident in it. Now, it does sync up to your Apple Watch if you have an Apple Watch. I don't, but I have the app on my phone, and I use it with my phone. And I weigh in, I just put my phone, I open up the app, I put my phone near the scale where I can see it. It does has a little dial that spins while it's reading your metrics, but once it's done spinning, it loads all the metrics into the phone and you're done. So it's super, super simple. I know that I've been told that there are other things that I'm not using as far as graphs and different things that you can do to analyze the data, which I'll probably look into, but I haven't been using those. But the purpose of this video is just to go over how I do the calculation. So I'm going to go on to the next slide. These are my most recent results as of today. Now, today is May 13th, 2024. I have been doing the carnivore diet since May 29th of 2023. So I'm almost coming up on my 1 year anniversary. But these are today's results. So what I do is I start by looking at my last week's scale weight, which is just it's listed as weight. So last week my weight was 251.4. And then I look at the change in my fat-free body weight. I've circled in red fat-free body weight. And you can see if you compare last week to this week, my fat-free body weight has increased by 0.4. So in the next space, I'm going to put plus 0.4 because that space is going to be a positive or a negative. It's your change in fat-free body weight. So in this case, my fat-free body weight went up 0.4. So I will take the 251.4 and I'm going to add the 0.4 increase in my fat-free body weight to give me 251.8 pounds. Now, there's a big question mark there about what is the fat gain or the loss. To figure that out, I'm going to go ahead and take this week's scale weight, which was 248.4, plug that in. So those metrics are ones that are either directly provided or can be calculated off of the metrics provided by the Renpho Smart Scale. Those little snippet comes directly from my app on my phone. The only thing you do is you calculate the difference. So I take the 251.8 and I see that I need to subtract in order to get to my current scale weight, which is good. It means that I lost weight, which is good. I lost fat. So here's the first scenario. I'm going to go over 4 scenarios. The first scenario is when the fat-free body weight increased and the scale weight decreased, which is what happened this week. So I can see that I lost 3.4 pounds of actual fat, which is fantastic. So that's how I do my calculation from week to week. I use this same formula regardless of the scenario. It works regardless. You just have to do a little bit of reverse math, plug in the number that makes the math work. I didn't want to put an algebraic equation. If you're like my daughter who can't do math, if her life depended on it, I'd lose you right then and there. Her eyes would cross in the back of her head. But hopefully this is easy. You can just see I need to subtract 3.4 in order to get the right number. 251.8 minus 3.4 is 248.4. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Okay, so let's do scenario number 2. Scenario number 2 is if the fat-free body weight increased, but the scale weight also increased. So I just kept the fat-free body weight the same, 0.4. And so, but I just pretended like the scale showed me with a gain this week up to 253. So I plugged in the number that would make the math work. I would have to add 1.2 pounds in order to make that math work. So that would mean that I had gained 1.2 pounds of fat this past week. All right, hopefully that makes sense. Scenario number 3 is if the fat-free body weight decreased and the scale weight also decreased. So I'm just going to pretend that my fat-free body weight actually went down this past week by 1.2 pounds. So if I take the 251.4 from last week and I subtract 1.2, I get 250.2. So if my scale weight was 250.6, so I did lose weight on the scale, but I have to figure out like what's the difference there. It is a positive 0.4. So that means that even though I lost weight on the scale, I actually gained 0.4 pounds of fat. So you can actually lose weight on the scale and you can still gain fat. So that's not good. That's not the right shift in body composition that we're wanting. That's for sure. I have not seen that in the whole year that I have been on the carnivore diet. I have never had this scenario. So I'm very happy about that. Alrighty. So last scenario is scenario number 4. This is where your fat-free body weight decreases and the scale weight also decreases. So I just took my last week's scale weight of 251.4, pretended like my fat-free body weight went down by 1.2, which gives me 250.2. But in this case, my scale weight increased. I hope I said that right when I introduced the scenario. I'm having this memory of saying it wrong. But anyways, so in order to get this math to work, I have to add 2.2 pounds. So in this case, if you just look at the scale, it looks like you gained 1 pound, But because of those body composition changes, which are not good, you kind of traded muscle for fat, you actually gained 2.2 pounds of fat. So that's not a good scenario either. And I have, again, never had this scenario. I am very grateful for that. But depending on what kind of diet you're on, you possibly might have this scenario. I am on a meat and animal fat only diet. And so I tend to, from week to week, have my scale weight go down. I think maybe 2 times, maybe 3 at the most. It's gone up like less than half a pound. But in general, my scale weight has gone down every single week, and my fat-free body weight tends to go up every single week. And I'm gaining good tissue, gaining good muscle, and I've actually gained bone as well. So, but this is a possible scenario. But regardless of the scenario, this method of calculating the fat gain or loss works. All right, hopefully that makes sense for you. Last slide, I just wanted to show you how I apply this to calculating my overall total. So when I first started the carnivore diet, I weighed in a couple days after I started. I weighed in 31st of 2023. So I've been on this diet for a couple days. But my scale weight was 339.6. I feel pretty confident that my scale weight was over 340 when I officially first started. But I'm taking a look. So I plugged that in. I plugged in my original scale weight, 339.6. Looking at this week's fat-free body weight compared to my beginning metrics, I have had an increase of 26.4 pounds of good tissue. It is, and I looked at the breakdown. The breakdown is 24.8 pounds of muscle, 1.6 pounds of bone. Since the very beginning of the carnivore diet, my fluid loss or gain is 0. And it does fluctuate a little bit from week to week, maybe by 0.2 or so, but overall, the fluid is 0. So my total fat-free body weight gain is all muscle and bone, and it totals 26.4 pounds. So I'm going to add the 26.4 pounds to my original weight, and I get 366 pounds. Now I take my scale weight from today, which is 248.4, and I fill in the blank to make the math work. And in order to make that math work, it shows that I have lost 117.6 pounds. And that is in a little less than a year on the carnivore diet. So I'm super happy. I mean, I'm happy with the actual scale loss because my scale loss is 91.2 pounds. But because I have this smart scale, I can see, because of body composition changes, gaining good quality tissue, muscle and bone, my actual fat loss is 117.6 pounds, which is super exciting and super phenomenal. I'm so glad and I'm so grateful that I have this scale, because this scale has helped keep me motivated. So I hope if you have purchased a smart scale and you are wanting to use it to keep yourself motivated, to help yourself understand what's going on with your body composition, to evaluate whatever diet you're on to see whether or not it's really providing you with good body composition results, then this is a great scale to use. Hopefully, whatever diet you're on, you're gaining muscle, you're gaining bone. It is possible. I'm 56 years old and I have gained 1.6 pounds, I think, of bone, which is phenomenal. I can attribute that, to I'm eating, like I said, I'm eating a carnivore diet. So hopefully, whatever diet you're on, you are getting similar results and good health. But this is how you do it. This is how you do the calculation. So I hope that was helpful for you. I'm going to go ahead and get out of the presentation now. So anyways, I wanted to do this for you, and I hope that this was helpful. Please comment below. Let me know what you think. I will put a link in the description to the Amazon link to the scale. So hopefully you're having an absolutely wonderful day. All right, take care. Bye-bye.